The war led to a vast migration of the American population. Young men left their homes for training camps and then for service overseas. Defense workers and their families, some 9 million people in all, moved to work in the new booming shipyards, munition factories, and aircraft plants. This movement of people caused severe social problems. Housing was in short supply. Migrating workers crowded into house trailers and boarding houses called boomtowns. Family life suffered under these crowded living conditions. An increase in the number of marriages, as young people searched for something to hang on to in the midst of wartime turmoil, was offset by rising divorce rates. The baby boom that would peak in the 1950s began during the war and brought its own set of problems. Only a few publicly funded daycare centers were available, and working mothers worried about their latchkey children. Schools in the boom areas were unable to cope with the influx of new students. A teaching shortage, intensified by the lure of higher wages in the war industries, compounded the education crisis. Despite these problems, women found the war a time of economic opportunity. The demand for workers led to a dramatic rise in women's employment, from 14 million working women in 1940 to 19 million by 1945. Most of the new women workers were married and many were middle-aged, thus broadening the composition of the female workforce, which in the past had been composed primarily of young single women. Women entered industries once viewed as exclusively male, and by the end of the war, they worked alongside men, tending blast furnaces in steel mills and welding hulls in shipyards. Few challenged the traditional view of gender roles, yet the wartime experience helped temporarily undermine the concept that women's only proper place was in the home. Women enjoyed the hefty weekly paychecks, which rose by 50% from 1941 to 1943, and they took pride in their contributions to the war effort. "To hell with the life I have had," commented a former fashion designer. "This war is too damn serious, and it is too damn important to win." As men left for military service in World War II, the U.S. industry expanded to keep up with the defense needs. Millions of women joined the paid labor force. By 1944, the peak year for female wartime employment, women made up 36% of the American workforce. Women took jobs that before had been done by men,